we keep things rolling here on a busy edition of the Sports Cubicle on WCPT 820 AM, Heartland Signal, WSBC 1240 AM, Chicago. Check us out on YouTube at The Sports Cubicle. I'm your host, Mike Mercado, with the marvelous one, Dan Marver. And Marver, it is July, but like the Hallmark Channel where they have Christmas in July, you have brought a present for the amazing listeners of the Sports Cubicle. What do we have on deck today?
Well, we have Chris Holtmann, the coach of DePaul University. He'll start his second year, and he brought the team off of the Schneid to have 14 wins, of which 4 were in the conference, and an amazing performance in the postseason, actually in the Big East tournament, taking the strong Creighton club to overtime and almost beating them. And Chris didn't even know they'd never been in the semifinals of the tournament. Last time we were in the NCAA was 2004. We actually beat Dayton and lost to the national champion to be Connecticut. But Chris, I just wanted to bring this in. I mean, it looks like, your original plan for the team was to have some underclassmen and then bring, and that's kind of not going to happen in today's climate, it seems like. But what I like is that you replace them with a lot of people that are bigger. When you look at the NBA draft, 18 of the 30 were freshmen in college, and that doesn't even include the international players like the one the Bulls get. But you do even better. Your last acquisition is a shooting guard from Bosnia, Ilya Milicevic. And that's kind of where you're headed. It looks like, you were practicing already, even today, and it looks like, things happened and you lost some of the players. Obviously, we were going to lose, the guys that graduated like Rivera and Skogman and such, but you replaced them, and it looks like you've got a nice blend here. So I wanted to talk about, what's going to go on with this year's team and how things. It's very early, and how things look with the Sixers. Obviously the freshmen aren't here yet, but the portal players. How are things gonna work out for you? Do you think?
Yeah, no, it's been really good. It's great to be with you guys. It's been really good. We're off to a good start. We had one season-ending injury from a transfer from Pitt. That was a 6'8" shooter that was disappointing for us. It happened before we even started workouts. He did it when they were playing open gym before we had even started things. So that was tough. But outside of that, we have, the most important thing is we were able to retain five returning players, 3 of which were starters. One came off the bench and didn't play a whole lot as a freshman, and the other one was a walk-on. But in today's world, us and UConn had the most returning points returning in the Big East. So 3 starters returning, or guys that were in our top 8, as well as 5 total, is really good continuity. And then we were able to fill in some gaps with some important transfers, and as you mentioned, some added size. Coming off a year where we did some really good things. We were able to set the school record for threes made. We did that with a couple games remaining. You mentioned we lost to Creighton in double overtime in the Big East tournament. We had a stretch of poor play but our guys were resilient. We finished playing our best basketball as the year went on.
Yeah, that's great. You're talking about obviously Benson, who's going to be a big piece along with Gunn. And they played a lot. And then as soon as Enright went down, you got a lot of production from your other returning player. So that's a good start. And I didn't even realize that we were in. You have more points returning than Duke, I'm sure too, because their whole freshman team went to the NBA. But it's amazing with the whole thing. Things have changed so dramatically in the way. You naively came in thinking that you could do things maybe the old-fashioned way, but that's not the case. And everybody has to do what you're doing, and you have to adjust to the climate. And I was talking to you or sending to you information about what other coaches are thinking about this whole thing. Bruce Pearl got to the Final Four, and he seems to like the NIL and this new House versus NCAA. I don't know if you can talk about that at all, but I was wondering what your opinion is of all that.
Well, you're exactly right. Now, the only contention I would have is having been in this a while. I came in pretty pretty wide-eyed. I knew what I was getting into in terms of the changing climate. And I think you have to come in with a specific plan. And our plan has been, if every year, if we can retention's going to be critical. If we can retain 3 to 5 of our core rotation players, that will be a real success. And then we build with both transfers, and then we're still going to recruit freshmen. And you make a couple great points there that it's a ever evolving landscape in college basketball and in college sports. So you really have to be agile, both as a coach and a coaching staff and a athletic administration in terms of how you're attacking it. But for us, our plan from day one has been retain, a core nucleus of returning guys, continue to develop them, then add via the portal, as well as freshmen. And we'll have one freshman that will play for us this year. And every year I'd like to bring in 1, maybe 2 freshmen that can play for us. But, I've had teams that have started 4, and unless you're Duke or back, even Calipari realized that was really hard to do. That's really hard to do and win. So we want to be able to be as old as we can.
So, Coach, let me ask you this. When continuity, you mentioned you and UConn, the amount of points that are returning to you guys, who does the responsibility fall on when it comes to the chemistry and the continuity? Is it the players that after years of playing with one another have to almost know by muscle memory what their brother is going to do? Or does it fall on the coaching staff to, like you mentioned the word evolve when it comes to NIL and transfer portal, to evolve what their team did last year to what they need to do and grow in next year? Who does that fall on? Is it 60-40? Is it 100%? Where does that fall when you're bringing back so many of the returning names and players to a team?
Yeah. Have to find their roles and their functions. Sorry, I'm racing to a recruiting event, so sorry about the directions. No, but for players, they have to understand what their role is. They have to buy into that. They have to be a program first and a team first individual, which times, because it could be their second, or in some cases their third, or in some cases their 4th or 5th school, as crazy as that sounds. So they have to really buy it. And then the coaches have to do, we as a coaching staff, have to do a good job identifying those people that will buy into that, and before they get here, and then creating a framework where they're going to buy into the team, buy into the program, buy into what they can offer the program, and then at the same time how they can get better themselves. We have to put things in front of them and communicate to them in a way where there is a understanding of what they're playing for, and that's the beginning of chemistry. And we've had last year, I thought we had a group that, particularly our older guys, they got to the end of the year and said, you know what, we're going to finish this thing really well. We had injuries and, like I said, a poor stretch of play, but we are going to finish this thing well, and they really did. We won 2 of our last 3 regular season Big East games, and then we went into the Big East tournament playing very well, and ended up, as you mentioned, beating Georgetown and playing Creighton to a double overtime game.
Do you take it, Coach, as a personal exercise, a personal growth? You talk about evolving, trying to grow with the time, talking to these new generation of players that grew up on the internet, that grew up with influencers, that have NIL since they're 13 years old, AAU, indifferent, loving, hating, however people feel about the way basketball is being developed nowadays on the men and women's side, girls and boys side. Do you personally take it as a challenge to grow and evolve with the sport and how it's ever changing? Is it something that you, even with all the other challenges that you go through, both in your personal life and as a coach, developing young men to be basketball players and people in our society, Do you find this to be a challenge that you enjoy, that you're up for, that really gets you going, this new era of NIL and how to recruit and work with the transfer portal of these young players?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you should have seen the phone I first bought when I was recruiting. It was a lot bigger than the one I got right now. I had a flip phone for a while, and that flip phone wasn't near as agile as my current iPhone that I have right now. So times change, and things become different, and you have to be able to adapt. And that's the same thing with sports right now, is you have to be able to adapt and adjust and be agile and figure out what gives you the best chance to help DePaul basketball grow. And as we rebuild this program, and it is a program that has, as we talked about, has had some tough last couple decades. As we rebuild this program, I'm under no, assumption that it's going to be a quick turn or an easy fix. I think big ships turn slowly. That's a reality. But I do think we're taking real steps, and it's our job as coaches and a program to be able to say, okay, how do we adapt in this new era? At the same time, not compromising our core belief and our core principles about how to run a program. And that's really what's in front of us as a coaching staff as we take on this really exciting challenge of, taking our program, taking another step forward.
So this is Dan again. I just wanted to let everybody know that I didn't forget about Layden Blocker's name. Just had a mental episode there. But he's coming back along with Benson and Gunn. And you've really done well. I mentioned that the gentleman that you just brought in, who's got a lot of experience overseas, and you've gone a little bit international. You got a kid from South Sudan, and the kid from Bosnia is hurt, and then of course the returning TOP Justin from France. But you've done a great job. I mean, you seem to be able to really navigate the portal. You got the Radford transfer guard Macklin, the Colorado transfer guard Smith, Wolford transfer forward Lorenz, and the Tulane forward Banks. And you've added, of course, McClure and Medina as freshmen that aren't even in school yet, so they're probably not practicing with you. But
they're here actually.
Oh, they're here. Okay, I didn't know if that was allowed. Okay, I didn't want to get anybody in trouble. But
no, they're here.
Okay, good. Yep. So I mean, so that's interesting that here in July you're actually able to work with the players. I mean, I don't think that was always true, was it?
No, it was not. It changed about 5 years ago, but what I've learned now being at DePaul for a year is we're on the quarter system. So when they come back in August, it's quick before we start playing, exhibitions. So we do try to get as much as we can done. Now, we do not have Ilya. You mentioned the guard from Serbia. We do not have him, and we do not have Teo, who's playing overseas in the U20s. And Ilya is still going through the process of coming over here. But outside of that, we have our full team here. And we are practicing right now. And you mentioned Layden Blocker, CJ Gunn, and NJ Benson were the three rotation starters returning. And all those guys, for us to take the next step, it's going to be imperative that those three guys take another step forward.
No question about it. And it looks like that's a good foundation too. And you've gotten a little bit bigger. I think that was a plan, bigger and maybe a little quicker. Is that true? Yeah.
We've gotten bigger was a really big priority for us here in the portal. The kid from Tulane, Caleb from Tulane, that one was a really important one for us because he's got length and skill at 6'8" with a 7'2" wingspan. Versatility offensively, versatility defensively. And he's one we're really excited about. And, I think he's got a real chance to make an impact for us, from day one. He's going to need to be that kind of player that we recruited. So we're excited about him, but all of our transfers, Jeremy, RJ, both those guys came from Wofford in Colorado, Brandon Macklin, who you mentioned. And then we have a freshman, Cruz McClure, who we're excited about, as well as a developmental big. And then we have a St. John's transfer who did not play at the 5 for them, but he's 7 feet with long arms. So big.
Yeah.
He's got really good shot blocking instincts.
They pronounce that what, Maker? Or Maker, one of the
Yes.
other. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, Maker.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay, good,
Maker.
good.
Yes.
Yeah, and the people are going to be excited too because it's going to be no more exhibition games against the Sisters of the Poor. You're going to be playing an exhibition game against Loyola here and one at Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
So they really,
well,
yeah,
we could, we could, and there's plenty of really good Division III programs that we still would entertain. And that are quality programs. We played one last year that was a really quality program. But we did feel like, to your point, that this year and maybe moving forward, we just felt like providing another game for our fans against either local competition, this game versus a Notre Dame that we're going to play and get returned. That'll be a really fun game for our fans to watch in October of next year. It'll be a really fun game. And then we know the Loyola game will be fun for both fan bases. Loyola is a great program who had a really good year last year, so they're coming to our place in an exhibition. And, I think both those, are programs that we'd like to look at doing something regular season in the future.
He is the DePaul men's basketball head coach. He is Chris Holtmann joining us for just another second or two. And Coach, this is something I think everybody can appreciate since you've been on the show a few times, is that you're always on the hustle. You're always on the go. You're always grinding. You're developing. You're building people that are going to be part of our society. And I think even in this interview, people could hear that you are on the grind. So I think people are interested in this when they're listening to somebody who's been coach of the year, who has recruited some of the best, has coached some of the best, has seen some of the best games. Involved in college basketball as much as you are, basketball in general, do you have any suggestions? Do you have anything you've thought of over the last few years of how you would like to handle these player athletes, these NIL deals, these transfer portals? Is there a way that you think this could be more efficient for everybody, for the institutes, for the players, for the coaches, heck, for the family and fan base? Have you over the years been thinking about how you would make this a more cleaner, better system?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think really two things. There has to be more transparency around NIL and around how that is happening on campuses. I think right now it's a little bit, it's too guarded. Campuses are, there just are not enough real regulations that have bite that probably need to happen. And then I think it's moving towards collective bargaining. I don't know that there's another solution to that. And I know we're talking about employees, but I just think eventually that's going to happen, because the one thing that I will say that I think has hurt college basketball, and March Madness is still the most viewed, sporting event out there. And I think it always will be. But the day-to-day product of college basketball has taken a little bit of a hit because fan bases they're not as familiar with the rosters as they used to be. And I'm not saying that it's ever going to go back to the way it was, but when you see situations where guys are maybe on their third or fourth school in 4 years, I think there has to be a little bit of an understanding that is overall hurting our game. So player movement, freedom of movement, I get that. That's a good thing. But I think it would help our game and help the popularity of our game if we could just get a little bit more roster consistency. It certainly help the coaches, but I think it would help the popularity of our game too.
We could be with Coach all day. Marver, you want to take us home with the last one?
I mean, sure. I mean, really what it is now is they're signing a 1-year contract. That's what it amounts to. And,
it does.
It's crazy. But the thing is that, they'll still be the fan base because the name will be in the front of the jersey. Mm-hmm. So there will be something to go on. But
for sure.
Yeah, all in all, it's still a great product. And we're looking forward to the progress with the rebuild here at DePaul, because it's long, I'm long suffering as a ticket holder, so I'm looking forward to. I mean, we started out great. You won the first half dozen games last year. This year, you have a little bit of upgrade with that tournament in Florida, where you'll see,
Yes.
Georgia Tech and either Drake or LSU. So that will be a nice challenge. And then you have Northwestern and Wichita State, and then a bunch of home games. But I've seen the schedule. It looks like it's a little bit more challenging, and I think that you'll get off to a good start though with a number of home games. So
it is a little more challenging. It is for good reason, and it is a little more challenging. And I do like, as you mentioned, the exhibitions. But I know, listen, I have went around the city, the suburbs in the last 12 months, and I really love and appreciate our fans. We had the highest jump in attendance next to St. John's in the league last year from the year prior. We had, I think, the highest attendance in 6 or 7 years at Wintrust.
Mm-hmm.
That's a credit to Dwayne and the energy that he puts around and his staff puts around games. But, we had our fans who you mentioned long suffering, and I've heard that. And, we're really hungry. I love our fans. I love our fan base. There's some that have really stuck with us through it. And I'm not promising that it's going to be a quicker and easy fix, but I am promising that I believe we'll continue to take real steps. And it's just, I couldn't want it any more than what I do for our fans that have been so faithful.
Well, we appreciate that. And so you're going to, I understand there's a big recruiting event right next door to your arena at McCormick Place. You're not involved with that, are you?
No.
Yeah,
that's for women, but there is one in the city right now,
mm-hmm.
or in the suburbs that I'm driving to, and then I'll be driving to Dallas or flying to Dallas, excuse me, and then flying right back the next day. So
you hear that, Chicago coach? Coach is putting in the work, and as a husband of a woman who is a graduate of DePaul, we would very much in the household enjoy some winning basketball in the Big East. So, Coach, you have been great. Thank you so much. He is the head coach of the DePaul men's basketball team. He is Coach Chris Holtmann. Coach, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Always great being with you guys. Have a great day.
I will see you from the third row as usual.
Look forward to it.
Okay.
Look forward to it, Dan. Thank you.
We keep it rolling here on the Sports Cubicle and Sports from the Couch on WCPT 820 AM, Heartland Signal, WSBC 1240 AM, Chicago, on YouTube at the Sports Cubicle. He's Dan Marver. I'm Mike Mercado.